Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Think Clinical podcast. My name is Hamza. Always great to be here. It's an amazing Saturday morning here, and I appreciate each and every single one of you for everything you've done. Today we are going to be talking about a very important concept that has to do with how we build sustainable competitive advantage when we have a healthcare business. And there's so many things out there that give you a guide on the different ways you can build sustainable competitive advantage. But this particular framework I'll be going over today is the tool that stands at the forefront of strategic business analysis, and it clearly maps out how you can sustain competitive advantage over a long period of time, and that is sustainable, and what you should be looking for when trying to build a business and survive within an industry that most likely has so many different things to offer, and so many different companies that have different things to offer. So today is going to be a very exciting episode as always, and we are going to be looking at this tool that would called the VRIO, or the VRIO framework, that is commonly used to evaluate whether or not the resources you have as a company positions you in the long term for sustainable, or to have a sustainable competitive edge against all the different ones that you have in the industry. So the VRIO, or the VRIO framework, basically it's an abbreviation, and we are going to go through each item in that abbreviation, and we are going to spell out clearly how this is going to look like as far as you applying it to your healthcare organization, especially let's say a hospital situation, because a lot of what I'll be talking about here is going to be in the context of a hospital business. So the examples I'll be giving and everything else I'll be talking about is going to be in the context of a hospital business. So this is going to help you appreciate how to position your hospital business, or your clinic, or your healthcare organization for a sustainable competitive advantage, or a competitive edge against your competitors. Alright, so let's jump into it. So the first letter we have here is the V, which is stands for value, or how valuable the company is. And let me go through the letters quickly so that once we start going through them, you understand what we are talking about. First of all, the V is value, or how valuable your resources are. R is how rare those resources that you have in your organization are. Now I is imitability, how easy is it for other companies or other competitors to imitate your product. And then O is organization. As a company, how organized are you to be able to fully utilize the value you've created, how rare your resources are, and how difficult it is for competitors to imitate what you have. How organized are you too? So let's go through them one after the other. V, and that's value. Now value simply looks at how your services or resources help you to meet your patient needs. For instance, if we talk about hospital business, how is this helping you meet the needs of your patient? How are the resources you have in your organization helping you meet these different needs of patients? How are they helping you to reduce cost as far as your patients are concerned? How is it helping you to differentiate your services from everybody else? So the value, or the V you have here, is the services or the resources you have, and how that helps you to meet the different aspects of what you are offering to everybody, or to your patients, or to the public. Now if we go deeper into this, it means that we are trying to say, because it's a big framework, I will break it down as I move through the different items in the list. But right now, what this means is that if you have resources which are valuable, and which is the case in so many different healthcare organizations. In older videos I mentioned that one of the things that you will be going into a healthcare business with is the fact that you want to improve people's lives, and that's a value. There's nobody who goes into a healthcare business without the plan of wanting to help people or build people's life. So if your value you are creating is to improve the health of people in a healthcare business, that's the fundamental one. So let's assume that that's the value you went in with. You want to make sure you provide quality care to patients. You want to make sure you improve, you meet their healthcare needs. Now, is this value really rare? Not necessarily, because every other healthcare organization or hospital clinic that starts wants to improve people's lives, and they are doing that. So this is a value that you share with so many other people. So one of the things that you need to pay attention to is the fact that if you have a resource that is valuable, or you have a service that is valuable but it's not rare, as we have in the VRIO framework, now all you are doing is that you're operating at a level playing field with everyone. So we say you have competitive parity, because you are just meeting the minimum standard, and nothing really makes you stand out. So value alone is not enough for you to have a sustainable competitive advantage, or a long-term sustainable competitive advantage. Now when we go to the next item, which is how rare your resources are, or the rarity of your resources, this second R just asks the question of whether or not, in addition to the value that you bring, you also have resources that are scarce among your competitors. So in addition to just providing a valuable resource or valuable service, what you do, is it rare among the competitors or the competition you have? So what we are saying is that if your business has its position such that if you have a resource that is valuable and it is rare, but missing the other components of the framework, which is the I and the O, that's imitability and organization, you do and you will have some competitive advantage, but then that's a temporary competitive advantage. So it's just going to be for a very short period, because as soon as people discover how to use or what makes your services rare and start jumping on it, then it doesn't become rare anymore. It doesn't become scarce. So you would enjoy some competitive advantage, but it's going to be very temporary. So value 1R, which is rarity. 2, if you have both of them together, yes, you will have some competitive advantage. If you have only the value without it being rare, you are just going to have competitive parity. You're just going to operate on the same level field with everybody. Now this is where it starts getting excited, when you start getting to I, that's imitability. What imitability means is that how easy, how much would it cost your competition to imitate what you're doing? Now if you set the bar so high such that it costs your competitors so much money to be able to imitate what you do, then it becomes very difficult to imitate, right? So you have an advantage there. So again, it opens up the gap. It prolongs the period of that temporary competitive advantage that you had from just a value and a rare resource. Now it adds a different layer to it, because now, even though your resource is valuable and it's rare, there's a barrier that makes it difficult for people to be able to go past a certain point. So now it becomes it becomes very difficult for people to imitate. So what that gives you, and some of the things that makes it difficult for people to imitate, it could just be historical conditions or causal ambiguity. Maybe people really don't know what is actually behind that advantage you have, that value you are bringing. Or it could just be some social complexity that is making it difficult for people to imitate. Whatever the reason is, if it's costing people more human resource, more money, everything else to be able to imitate what you're doing, then it gives you what we call a long-term competitive advantage. Long-term because it's not yet sustainable, but it's long-term. But it keeps you differentiated from your competitors for a very, very long time. Now the O, which is organization, is one of the most important one, because this is where the rubber meets the road. When you actually have a resource that is valuable, that is rare, and that is very costly to imitate, now as an organization, the O literally explores whether or not you are positioned or you are well aligned to capture the value of that resource that you found to be valuable, that you found to be rare, and that you found to be very costly to imitate. Now, are you organized enough to exploit the full potential of that resource? That is what the O stands for, and that is what actually gives you a sustainable competitive advantage. Now, what does this O look like? Do you have the right processes or systems in place that would make this an ongoing process for you without you having to worry? Do you have the right talent? Do you have the right kind of mix of employees? Do you have the right people there with you that will help you sustain the competition? Do you have the right technology? Are you organized to have the right technology? And do you have the right organizational culture? These are some of the things that go into the O. These are the things that you need to have in place. Otherwise, a valuable, rare, costly to imitate resource will not give you any form of sustainable competitive advantage. Now, this is where you actually have the full competitive advantage, because it becomes sustainable because you not only do you have a valuable product, it is rare, it's scarce among your competition, and even if they wanted to imitate, it's very costly to imitate, or it's very difficult to imitate. And you as an organization is well positioned or well organized to implement or to exploit the full potential of that resource. So that is what it means now. So what we are trying to say, and in conclusion to this very important conversation, is that when a resource is valuable, rare, inimitable, and the organization is equipped to leverage it, it is the most strategic point to be as a business if you want to be sustainable in the long term. If we talk about strategic planning, this is the holy grail of strategic planning. When you are looking at your company in the next 3 to 10 years, building a strong framework around value, rarity, inimitability, and organization is the holy grail of strategic planning. So once again, we appreciate the fact that you spend this time with us to walk through some of these very important principles, and it's always good to be here. We will be bringing you more episodes, especially on planning, so look out for these, and I will come back to you again with very exciting episodes in the next few weeks. Thank you so much, and have a good one.